Good morning, class 12th. So, today we shall start with our chapter 1 of Indian economics. Chapter is Indian economy on the eve of independence. This is our lecture 1. In this chapter, we shall study about colonial exploitation of Indian economy under the British rule, features of Indian economy on the eve of independence, agriculture sector, industrial sector, foreign trade, demographic profile, fine, occupational structure on the eve of independence, infrastructure on the eve of independence. So every sector, every change that Britishers brought in our country, we shall discuss them in detail. Okay, so in this chapter you need to understand the following points, that is Britishers gave positive as well as negative contribution to the country, fine, to our Indian economy. There was positive as well as negative aspect of this colonial exploitation, fine. So we shall now proceed with the our colonial exploitation of Indian economy under the British rule. See, you very well know that colonial exploitation was of agriculture sector, of industrial sector, as well as it was of foreign trade. So in agriculture sector they introduced zamindari system. Clear? Zamindari system was introduced in agriculture sector. Zamindars were declared as the owners of the soil. They were to pay fixed sum to the government by the way of land revenue. The tillers of the soil got bare minimum for their survival and they were left with no investment. Fine. Zamindars, on the other hand, spent their revenue income on the luxuries of a life. Little or no investment was made for the development of agriculture. There was not a good relationship between tillers of the soil and owners of the soil. Owner, they were the zamindars. They charged high revenue from the farmers, and you will be shocked to know that if there was good output, good production, so good fertility, still farmer didn't get that much amount which they deserve, fine. But if there is poor productivity, if there is crop failure, then everything was borne by the farmers only. That negative impact of that was borne by the farmer only, fine. So this is what the colonial exploitation of the agriculture sector. And in this, if the question comes, okay, how will you start your answer, you need to start your answer that with the zamindari system of land revenue. First you will write that in agriculture sector Britishers introduced zamindari system. Then you will explain what was zamindari system, that Britishers charged high revenue from the farmers, and farmers were left with bare minimum. So this is how you need to start your answer. You had to start with the zamindari system, fine. Indian economy under the British rule was subjected to the colonial exploitation. It implied a targeted exploitation of all the sectors by the British government, fine. Now see, in this, so are you clear with this point, ke colonial exploitation of agriculture sector, fine. Now see, in agriculture sector at that time there was traditional method of farming were used. Clear hai? Now we shall start with industrial sector. Colonial exploitation of industrial sector. Prior to the British rule, industrial sector in India was well known for its handicrafts, fine. So handicraft industry was flourishing at that time, and Indian handicrafts enjoy worldwide reputation for variety and quality. It was good in quality also, it offers variety of goods. But this was destroyed by the British government. Now how they destroyed it? They destroyed it in two ways. That Foreign demand for the Indian handicrafts was destroyed by the way of heavy duty on their exports, and domestic demand for the Indian handicrafts was destroyed by the way of duty free import of the British goods in Indian market. There was bilateral trade between India and Britain. Fine. So how they destroyed the foreign demand? By way of heavy duty on export. Now if you will export something, there will be heavy duty, so your goods you are exporting, that will be costlier to the other country. The country which is purchasing, for that country it is a costly good. Clear with this? And now how they destroyed the domestic demand? They destroyed the domestic demand by duty free imports of the British goods. So if you will import duty free goods, they will be cheaper than your handicraft goods. Then we have colonial exploitation of international trade. Now how they exploited international trade? India's international trade was exploited through discriminatory tariff policy. Discriminatory tariff policy. Now discriminatory tariff policy implies that duty free export of Indian raw material to fulfill the industrial needs of Britain, then duty free import of British goods to expand the demand for the British good in the Indian market. It was like owing to the discriminatory tariff policy that India became the importer of finished goods from Britain and exporter of raw material to Britain. So there was what? Bilateral trade between Britain and India. So India started exporting raw material, started importing finished goods. Fine. So it is owing to its colonial exploitation that Indian economy became stagnant as well as backward. Fine. So let's start with the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. Like see, first is stagnant economy, second is backward economy. Stagnant economy. Now see, on the eve of independence, Indian economy was completely a stagnant economy. Stagnant economy means the economy which shows little or no growth. Between 1860 to 1945, growth rate of per capita income was as low as 0.5% per annum. Are you marking this thing? Okay? Between 1860 to 1945, it was just 0.5%. And from 1925 to 1950, 0.1% per annum. So, on account of this stagnation, bulk of Indian population lived in poverty. Then second point is backward economy. Indian economy was backward economy on the eve of independence. Backward economy is that economy in which per capita income is very low. During independence in 1947 to 1948, per capita income in India was just rupees 250. Bulk of the population was very poor. Then third point we have agriculture backwardness. Now see, we did how they exploited our agriculture sector, that was by introducing zamindari system. So in agriculture sector, our agriculture sector was completely dependent on rainfall. Good rainfall implies good output, bad rainfall implies bad output. Fine, there were no permanent means of irrigation, no modernization of farming, they were using traditional methods. Food grain production in 1947 to 1948, it was just for the subsistence only. It was just 527 lakh tons. That was you can't sell in the market. It is just to fulfill the needs of the farmers only. Fine. And productivity was extremely low. Per hectare output of the wheat was 660 kilograms and of rice it was 710 kilograms. That's it. Then industrial backwardness. Now see, there was a virtual lack of basic and heavy industries in the country. Clear hai? Production of machinery was negligible. Small scale and cottage industry was ruined. You studied previously that they exploited our handicraft industry. Then we have rampant poverty. Now see, rampant poverty means the poverty which is increasing, which is not decreasing, it is just continuously increasing. Bulk of the population was poor. People were not getting just 2 square meal a day. They lacked shelter and clothing. All this was owing to the widespread unemployment and massive illiteracy. Poor infrastructure implies that including communication, transportation, generation of power was extremely low. In 1948, power generation was just 2100 megawatt. Length of railways was 53,596 kilometer. Fine. So first question, what is included in infrastructure? Communication, energy sector, your transportation. So these all things are included in infrastructure. So there was poor infrastructure, rampant poverty and poor infrastructure. Then we come to this point, heavy dependence on imports. Our country was completely dependent on imports for the machinery and other equipments of production. Armed forces of the country were also dependent on foreign imports for most of the defense equipments. Then besides several consumer goods, swing machine, medicines, kerosene oil, bicycles, so all these things were used to be imported from abroad. Clear है? Then we have limited urbanization. Limited urbanization, at the time of independence, bulk of the population of India lived in villages. In 1948, 14% of the population lived in urban areas, while 86% of the people lived in rural areas. You are getting the difference. 86% in rural and 14% in urban areas. Rural population lacked opportunity outside the agriculture. Fine. And this compounded their poverty. And at that time people were happy. They only wanted to work in the agriculture sector because of lack of education, because of lack of opportunities. So this was the topic